Hey guys, Master Piercy here. I just wanted to talk to you about why we do forms and what they're good for. So basically there's 3 or 4 main reasons why you should do forms, and the number one reason is mental. It's a mental and physical workout, so you're actually working out your mind and working out your body at the same time. So you get a chance to work out your mind, get a chance to work out your body, and you get to... The more you work your mind and your body together, you're building skills for self-defense. Self-defense is not just a physical workout. It's not just a mental workout either. It's not just a game of chess. And it's also not just a physical attributes thing where it's who can hit harder or who can run faster, who can kick faster or whatever. There's mental and physical aspects, and they have to work together. So it teaches your mind and body to work together. The second reason why, so teaching your mind and body work together, that's reason number one. The second reason why is it strings together martial arts moves. So individual moves like a punch, a elbow, those are like letters, okay? If you think of them like letters, if you think of like combo, like punch, elbow, block, palm strike, those things would be like, a combo would be like a word. So like the, T-H-E, right? Thrust, punch, I don't know, what do we have? It's H. But anyway, but you combine it all together, 4 letters, that makes a word. A form is like a sentence. So it strings together martial arts moves into sentences. So it's like practicing, if you type the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, right? You type that out enough times, you hit every key on the keyboard, you get better at all the keys. And so that's one of the things why if you do forms, it strings together enough moves, enough combos, so that you're kind of hitting enough keys. You can't hit all the keys in martial arts. That would require a form that goes on infinitely. But, excuse me, in our system we have about 6 forms. And then if you get into White Tigers, there are 6 more major forms, and then there's a bunch of mini forms that all go together. So... essentially, if you string together enough things, you'll be able to work in not just combinations, but sentences, which will be necessary. I call them sentences, but a little bit longer than just a combination of techniques, but actually be able to move from one combo to the next combo to the next combo. That'll get you used to multiple attackers, adapting to different situations, multiple engagements in one session. And that's what... basically another reason to do forms. So we've got 2 reasons now: mental, physical workout, and then you got stringing together martial arts moves, so that essentially you can use multiple combinations, multiple engagement training. And then rule number 3 would be, or the reason why you do forms number 3, reason number 3 would be to have, basically it gives you access to infinite applications. Now that's really weird, but if I do Kempo 1, right? I do Kempo 1, boom, 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 and then I'm holding the phone here, so I can't use the other arm, so I'm just like using one arm for all this, yeah, and then back, and then this, that. But if I do Kempo 1, believe it or not, at a certain level, there's infinite martial arts applications you can pull from that. So if there's infinite applications from Kempo 1, why do you need Kempo 2, 3, 4? No 4. Okay. Kempo 1, 2, and 3. Why do you need stick 1? Why do you need fighting form 1? Why do you need the 18 Shaolin motions? All these other things. Well, that's because there's different kinds of infinite. So you have infinite up, you got infinite down, you got infinite left, infinite right. And so, Kempo 1 is like infinite to my right? And then you got Kempo 2, which might be like infinite to the left. And then you got 18 Shaolin motions, infinite up. You got the dragon form, which is infinite down. You got all these different infinites. You could have counting numbers forwards by integers of 1. That's infinite. It can go forward infinite times. Integers of 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8. You can do that infinite times. You can go backwards, -1, -2, -3. You can go 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. You can also go infinite forward, infinite backward. So there's different directions of infinite. So if you think Kempo 1 is a direction of infinite, Kempo 2 is a different direction, Kempo 3 is a different direction, fighting form 1 stick 1, stick 2, stick 3. There's different ways of tapping into the infinite. So yeah, there's infinite applications of Kempo 1, right? You throw in 1 knife hand, or even just the 7 knife hands. Think about it. Knife hand 1 combined with 2, or you can do knife hand 1 combined with 3, knife hand 1 combined with 4, knife hand 1 combined with 5, right? And then you can do knife hand 1, 5, 6, an elbow, and then you can add in another elbow, and that's a different combination. They get a little repetitive, but essentially it goes into infinity. I'm sure a mathematician could break down, well, if you only have 7 knife hands and 6 elbows, and only 35 targets or whatever that they might work on certain moves, effectively, then I'm sure you could do the math times 1 times 2 times, to the infinite power of whatever. But essentially, for a human mind to comprehend, or for the purposes of training in a human lifetime, it's infinity. And then, so that's the third reason, is training your forms gives you access to infinite applications. Now, so we got mental and physical workout, stringing together martial arts moves, and then infinite applications. Also, it takes you to the 4th stage of skill very quickly. Now, there are 4 stages to skill. So 1, you have unconscious incompetent, which basically means you don't know that you don't know it. It's where you probably think you're great. You probably think you're a great plumber because you've never done any plumbing, or maybe you think you're a great electrician or a great mechanic or a great accountant. I'd be a great president of the United States, but or a great boxer. But unless you've actually boxed, you don't know. So that's the first thing, is unconscious incompetent. 2, you have conscious incompetent, where you're actually aware of where you're aware of how bad you are at something. You're like, I suck at boxing. People get stuck in this stage too. I suck at, accounting. I suck at math. I suck at this, that. That's not a great stage to be in, but at least you know that you don't know something, so that's something. You at least know one thing about it. Conscious competent is where you can actually consciously work it out. You're like, 2 plus 5 is 7, if I think about it. And so you have that thing where you can actually think your way through. People do this with driving the first time. They're like, oh man, look, signal, mirror, shoulder check, move into the lane. And then you do that again until you're like, mirror, mirror, shoulder, signal, shoulder check, move. You don't even think about it. You can just blast through. You do all those things. So essentially there's quite a lot of things you can do to the point of subconscious. You start off consciously competent, then you move to unconsciously competent. Where I think the test is, if you're unconsciously competent, is which is the highest level, essentially, is if you can carry on a normal conversation while doing your forms. So I can do my 7 knife hands and sit here and talk to you because I have, put those skills essentially into my 4th stage of knowledge. They're unconscious. I don't have to think about my 7 knife hands really at all. I can carry on a totally normal conversation and do these forms over and over and over again. And it doesn't really affect anything. Like, it doesn't affect me. I can basically do one and the other, and it doesn't affect me. I can talk and do this. So one of the things I'll do to you when you're doing your forms is I'll talk to you. I'll be like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Can you do that? How's your day going? How are things going at your job? What do you think of the weather or whatever? I'll try not to talk about politics, especially right now. It's a little bit hot for everybody. But, yeah, so you have unconscious competency, which is the stage you want to get to. And forms help you do that. You do the form once, you're thinking about it while you do it. 10 times, you're still thinking about it. And then eventually, you're doing it 100 times, 200 times. Suddenly, somewhere around 300, 400 times, you're not thinking about it anymore. And I can just talk to you, and you can talk to me, and you can carry on a normal conversation. You can daydream while doing your forms. That's not necessarily a good thing, but it's a good sign. It means you're moving into that 4th stage of unconscious competent. So you have unconscious incompetent, which is not where you want to be. Conscious incompetent, which is still not where you want to be, but it's better. Conscious competent, which is where you actually know you can actually do the thing as long as you think about it. And unconscious competent, which is where you want to be with everything, where you can do the thing without thinking about it. So if you can string together multiple martial arts moves, without thinking about it, you are an unconscious, competent person at martial arts. And essentially, that's where you want to be. That's why forms are so good. So that's essentially why you want to do forms. Also, forms are a great way for masters to hand down large strings of knowledge. This martial art is 1,500 years old, and I had a lot of people, tell me time and time again, you got to put more and more and more stuff on the internet, and it's like, because otherwise, how will the art survive? And it's like, well, the art was around long before the internet, and may even be around. It's my job to help make sure that it's around long after the internet. When the internet goes down, or when we all have chips in our brains and we don't even call it the internet anymore, that's just being alive. But I'm not sure where that's going to go. But it's my job to make sure it's around. And, since they've had this method of handing it down for 1,500 odd years, and it seems to have done pretty well, I'm going to kind of stick with it. I have been putting more stuff up on the internet, to appease those people. But there's simply no way I can satisfy that thirst for knowledge that you have. Only way you can do it is if you come to the school. You come to any school, but if you come to my school, I can help you. I can help you with that knowledge. I can teach you Kempo 1, Kempo 2, Kempo 3, Fighting Form 1, 2, 3, Long 1, and eventually 2 and 3. Shh, don't tell anyone. Stick 1, 2, 3, Fighting Form. Oh, I already said that. Hung 1, 2, and 3, 18 Shaolin motions, 7 knife hands, 6 elbows, tons of different kicks, punches. And I can teach you all the intricacies, things I could never put in a blog, things that would be almost impossible to teach over the internet. If you saw the way I was holding my fist there, there's a very specific, you don't just make a fist and hold it. You hold your fist a certain way. It gives you more power, protects your hand a bit better, is more deadly, more dangerous to your attacker. I can express that very well in person, but to fix all those things over the internet, very hard to do because it's two-dimensional. We're not at the stage where I can see and feel you and make corrections, actually grab your arm and move it down, move it to the side and say, this is where you need to be, right over here. You need to be right on that target, wherever it is. But I can do that 10,000 times easier in person. So this is why we're still doing it in person. I know. The internet's great, and it is, but it still has limitations, and even if it didn't have these limitations, we still have a way of doing things that has worked for 1,500 years. So, should we really change? If it's necessary, of course we should. But at this stage, I'd say our method is more proven than just the internet. If I put everything on the internet and then I forget it, what good is that? Or if I put everything on the internet and you're like, well, it's on the internet, I don't need to study. Frankly, everything's on the internet. Advanced physics is on the internet. How to fix and repair every portion of your car is on the internet. And what do people do? They look at pictures of cats. I do it. They look at pictures of cats. They look at car videos, and they look at funny videos. And we're not exactly using the internet to improve our minds. But it's funny when people spend $20,000 or more going to a semester of college, they actually study. Same information, everything that's in university and college, it's on the internet. It's available on the internet, I think. Except for some of the practical stuff, which is another reason why you can't learn martial arts on the internet. No matter how good, you can see a front kick. One of my students said to me the other day, you can read the word front kick 300 times, but unless you go out and do it, doesn't mean anything. I had a guy come in here once, and he told me he'd read over 300 books on martial arts. Well, that's great, but it doesn't actually translate to skill. It doesn't translate into the real thing. And I could write more and more blogs and we are writing more, and we're always thinking of ideas, and we are getting involved on the internet. But I gotta tell you, it doesn't really matter if it's on the internet, because you're not going to be able to learn how to do a front kick, a side kick, a roundhouse kick, an elbow kick, punch. Even if you learn all those things on the internet, you're never going to be able to spar on the internet. At least not right now. Maybe in 15 years, he'll be like, ha, he thought we would never be able to spar on the internet. What a kook, right? I'm not going to say never, but let's say for now, given the current state of technology, there's no way you can spar or practically learn martial arts skill on the internet. You have to actually physically go to a school. So, that being said, recommend our school to your friends. Recommend our school to your family. Get some people down here and let's learn martial arts in person, in reality. And also, don't forget the 4 reasons why we actually do forms. 1, it's mental and physical workout. 2, it strings together martial arts moves, so you're not just forming individual techniques or combos, but you're actually forming combos of combos, what I call sentences, or what English language calls sentences. There are infinite applications of forms, and you also need different ones, so you can have infinite versions, or you can have different versions of infinite. And also, it takes you to the 4th stage of knowledge. You got unconscious incompetent, which is bad. Conscious incompetent, where you know that you suck. Conscious competent, where if you think about it, you can actually do it. You can work your way through it. But it takes you to that 4th stage, the most elusive stage, the one you want to be at, which is unconscious competent, where you are essentially very good at something unconsciously. And that's the stage that you want to be at. So, those are the reasons why you want to do forms. And that's it. I hope that you guys are staying safe. I hope you're having fun. I hope you're wearing masks and washing your hands and staying 6 feet away from people. And make sure you call your family and talk to them and tell them you love them and the people you care about. Make sure you let them know, because who knows how much time we have. Thanks a lot, and I hope to see you soon.